Welcome back on dioramas. Today I want to propose you a video about the unboxing review about the WarDeath issue 512 of May 2025 released by the Games Workshop. This is quite interesting as WarDeath. We can start from the cover that it's about Mortarion, the primarch of the Death Guard. Death Guard that I love, I still model about them and I risk always to start an army. This it's an issue that it's about the Death Guard because it's being released, the Death Guard, quite soon. So it's something that it's celebrating about them. It's really quite intriguing. And another thing to notice is that it's mainly related about Warhammer 40k, and there is also some anticipation that we see, but also there are a lot about modelism, painting and conversions and so on. So I think that if you test about the theme of what you can gain from converting the models as themes for armies can be really quite interesting. Then we can see about the inserts inside. We can find that we have these that are about aspect of war. Remember that are facultative, okay. Usually the aspect of war it's related about general new rules that are added. Here instead it's related about Nurgle, so it can be interesting. Then here we have the part about the missions. Here we have related about Warhammer 40k and here related about Age of Sigmar. About Age of Sigmar, here it's something that was published in 2021 but adapted, and as usual I suggest you to do the same. So if you have older battle plans and so on, you can find ways to adapt to play still in the new edition, so it's really quite interesting in that way, so I suggest you. Moreover, remember that this part there is not anymore a copy inside the WarDeath, so if you remove this page from the WarDeath itself, you not have a copy to use. So eventually think about making a photocopy about this so that you can leave this in the WarDeath and having a copy that you can use. Here we have the alternative cover of the WarDeath that is the same cover that we have seen here, simply without any writing. To obtain this, you have to make the subscription to the WarDeath, and you'll save also some money. So it's really quite interesting because it's really quite nice to have this really quite amazing artwork, because I think that it's an artwork made like this, so not bad at all. And then so we can start to see about the contents, because there are tons of things to see and talk about. Here you can find the introduction about the WarDeath. Here the contents inside. As you can see, there are mainly related about Warhammer 40k. Then we can flip and you can find the main list of the readers to the theme of the WarDeath, and as usual I suggest you more to see than read them. There are also some things that are interesting to read, but you can see something related about for example painting, modifying, basing. There could be really quite inspiration, so I suggest you eventually to think about what you can gain, because it could be quite nice maybe to have some little ideas or so on. So not bad, it's quite intriguing. And okay, again, painting, creating, modifying and so on, you can really have some options. Now here we have the part about the notes about Nurgle by the Grey Knights, and here it's something interesting because we can find something that it's related to both an army that it's released right now and an army that has been announced to be released quite soon, the Grey Knight. So it's quite intriguing, moreover, because you can see the perception of the Grey Knight that had about Nurgle, and I love such type of documents. It's really quite amazing one, I really like. Moreover, as usual, it's really done amazingly. Okay, I really quite appreciate such things, and there are tons of little things to read and know better. Then here you have about the combat battle related to Nurgle. As usual, I'm more interested about the images here than the rules, because I don't play the combat battle. Still, if you're interested about, I think that it can be really quite intriguing, because you can have the rules related, so they're for free in this case, because you have the WarDeath, so okay. Then about the aspect of war, what we have seen before. So here we have this that can be used with match play, narrative, crusade, every way that you want, and they can be useful. Remember that are narrative, and sincerely I'm not feeling the need of having these things, this adding to the rules of Warhammer 40k. Moreover, seeing how a mess it is now, so maybe the next edition if they're done better, okay, but still it's an option. And here we have about the Heralds of Nurgle, that it's a gallery of hobbies that present their own armies. And here it's something that I suggest to read because it's related to both Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar, because more about the demons have common for both of them. And really, it's something because you can see a lot of ideas, a lot of painting, different ways, conversions and so on, that I think that it can be really quite intriguing. So you can really have fun about seeing this. Think about personalization, for example, as this arm that is mutated for the Imperial Knight. There are a tons of things that you can see and have ideas of conversion and so on. So have inspiration related about. I think that it's really quite amazing. Also about painting, as you can see. So okay, I know that it's more related about Nurgle, but you can gain quite a lot of things that you can copy and have personalized for your armies and so on. So you can really adapt eventually, and you can also maybe see some models that you are interested in and you didn't think that you could convert like this. For example, here we have some idea about conversion. So a Killbash related, it can be quite interesting, and I think that it's a way to show you what you can gain and eventually how. Then here we have the Hobby Hangout, that it's really about the rust and grime, so how to paint them and so on. It's some suggestions that could be really quite useful, so I think that it's not bad at all, because you can see more things that could be used, and it's not necessarily applied to Nurgle. It can be applied to all different type of models, so depending by how you want that your army is dusted, it could be applied to both Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar. And here something else that is said about the Grey Knights. Again, the Grey Knights are something that is coming soon, so it's really quite interesting to see such a lot of catchphrases and things related. So it's not bad in my opinion as an option. As you can see, you have tons of things that you could use as a referral. For example, parts about distinguishing the various units and so on. So it's really quite nice, and you can know much better about them, and the images are simply amazing. And then you can find this, that it's simply wow. I love the dioramas, and here we have an amazing person that it's Roman Lappat, that it's showed about his dioramas, and are crazy, amazing. I love such dioramas. Okay, I never realized I think something like this, because I'm more about being able to play the dioramas, but these are inspirational, pure inspirational, because they are models that are 2D background, but they are a 3D amassing proceeding too, so it's really fantastic. I love, and wow, it's really a guide. This it's something that you can watch each of these and have tons of options that you can claim from these, because they are really wow. You can really create little dioramas like this that recreate something that you have seen in images applied to really something that you have to take your time and watch, analyze step by step, and understand really quite amazingly, because you can have tons of things, and you can understand how much you can gain from painting and personalize, because fantastic. Really, you have some of these that are simply wonderful artworks. Wow. See, also a single model can be made in an amazing way that you could see. Wow, really, I am without words, because this is something that I put my time to move on the image and start to see, to analyze everything from really even the corner itself, that it can be done, it can be replaced, it could be used, and the thing that they transmit. So a lot of things. And then we have about the third part of Flashpoint Gnashka, that it's something that it's really quite interesting, because I love such Flashpoint. Technically are a sort of not existent part. I'm quite curious to see if this will affect the future campaigns and so on, because they are really quite amazing. For example, here we have Duckbud, that we have known in the previous two White Dwarf, that it's fighting against Avengorian Lord. So here it's really quite interesting, because it's about the vampire Avengori, and it's campaign against the Avengorian Lord that captured his own fortress in Gur, and he had to move from Shaish that it could to compare to that he went to capture to come back here to recover his own fortress. So it's really quite an amazing one. I love the artworks, it's simply fantastic. So here it's something that I really suggest you to think about having this, because it's really fantastic ones. They are really amazing novels and so on, and wow, okay. And here we have also the part about the campaign, so you can find about them fighting against each other and so on. So you can have quite a lot of options. There is also a little background also inside here, because there are some notes and so on inside, but it's something that I suggest you to play. Remember that it's going to be published in Warhammer community. Also something new, that it's about the Scourge of Giran, that it's about the realm of life, and there are new options to be played for Age of Sigmar. And there is quite a lot of things, but they are an anticipation of what we see with the new General Handbook 2025-2026. So it's something that it's really quite interesting, because it allows you to play differently and still being official. So not bad. I suggest you to go to see about them. Then we can find this, that it's about the A-Metal guide about painting the undead, the new undead. So here Viking and Wild Lord. Here the new unit of the Fractals, Skeletons. Remember that this has been remade, okay? It's quite completely similar to the one of the Cursed City. Simply they were much delicate, so they reinforced the bit and made a little change about such things, but they are quite fantastic. And you can see tons of details and also something new that has been brought, for example this face here. So it's really quite intriguing, and I suggest you to read, to see. And here we have the Barrow Guard, here the Barrow Knight. In the future I bring also my videos related about the Viking Wild Lord, the Barrow Guard and the Barrow Knight too, because I'm quite interested about them too. If you're interested, you can find in the description the links about my unboxing review for the Armyset and the Battletome Soulblight Gravelords 2025. Here we have WarDeath, that it costs, wow, crazy cost about money. I hope that in the future there will be released a box that contains also this one, much cheaper. Otherwise, I think that I remain with my 4 old Terrorgeist Dragon Zombie ones. And here also the Revenant Draconid, that is the WarDeath simply Ascent, so it's the simple mount, and it's the substitute of the Zombie Dragon, that it's amazing, but it's different from the Zombie Dragon itself. Then here about the Underworld. As usual, here I'm more interested about the models, the images and the painting than about the rules, because I don't play Underworld, but I find them really quite interesting. One thing to notice is that I like the artwork of the cards that are quite intriguing eventually. So here you can see about how it's played and so on, so not bad. Here the basic training related about Warhammer 40k, but the tactics about here could be useful also in other games, so eventually you could give a red, because it will be not bad in my opinion. Then we can move on, and we can find related about here the Middle Earth. So here it's an interview about the autos, and so it's something that it can be interesting. Sincerely, I'm more interested about the miniatures of the Lord of the Ring Middle Earth than the game itself, because I'm not a fan of the history. About the films, yes, I know, I'm crazy, I know, but still I don't like too much the book of Tolkien, of the Lord of the Rings. Here we have other painting guide that could be quite interesting to paint on, so I suggest you eventually to see, because it can be quite nice to add the scheme of colors and so on. I think that it would be quite intriguing, because there are a lot of things that could be done. Nice. So it's really quite interesting in my opinion. So a lot of things that could be used. And then we have here about the Black Library. Here it's related about the Duardin. It's the first of 5 issues that we see the story divided in. So it's really quite interesting. And really, as usual, I suggest you to give a try about such things, because often there are something that will be patched in the Black Library Sassily, or you can read maybe an author that you never known, so you can learn something about army that you play or you never played, or even something that it's associate you an author with a type of novels and so on that usually doesn't do. So it's really quite interesting. I think that it can be quite intriguing, and it's developing about the background, so I think that it's always nice. Okay, I always like such thing because it's a good thing. I missed when they were missing this part of Black Library. Here the access granted that usually has been put as a way to stimulate you to paint and so on. Here we have the Kill Team League that sincerely I follow only to see the images about eventually personalization, eventually duels and so on that could be done, eventually some conversion, so it's quite intriguing that way. And here we have the satellite uplink, so something that is related about the clubs around that has the collector of Game Workshop, and here the images of those clubs. And it's really quite interesting because you can see here another sort of mailing list of the readers, and you can find a lot of ideas, for example this purple theme and so on, so you can really personalize a lot, and I suggest always to see about them because you can have inspiration. Okay, okay, I repeat always those inspiration, but it's what they are. It's really something that it's quite intriguing. And then we have seen the bunker again, and here we have the inserts, and here we have the closure with again image related about the death card, because remember this it's quite a lot of celebration about the context of the death card, so not bad. And one thing to notice is that it's missing a battle report. Strange, because usually there is. I'm not missing completely because sincerely I'm more interested about reported related about Age of Sigmar or Warhammer 40k. Here there aren't, but there are tons of things that I'm interested related about background, painting and conversion. So okay, what do you think about? Are you interested about such White Dwarf? Would you prefer something else? You prefer another type of style about White Dwarf? Because it's really quite interesting. It has a lot of options. Remember that you have a lot of rules inside here, because you have it about the Flashpoint Gnashka, you have the combat pattern about Nurgle, you have the part about the aspect of world about Nurgle that anyway, okay, they're all facultative in some way. Okay, the combat pattern technically it's official, but they are not the main game, but still they are really quite interesting, and I think that it's quite worth. So I'm quite curious to know about your opinion, because it's something that could be quite interesting, discussed, eventually write in the comment. At least for now, only for the White Dwarf. I decided to put in description the link about my wish list for Amazon if you are interested about making me a gift about. I know it's the first time that I do, so I hope that it works. Anyway, it's something that it's a try. Don't feel that you have to do or so on. It's simply something that if you want to cooperate with me to give me some things that maybe I use then as a review or so on, it could be useful, or that can be useful also for the channel. So eventually you have a thing that you can share with. So from deynonmod it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.